Hello, lovely one. I am here as we come to the end of 2025 to talk about what you, me, and everybody else that runs a baby business should be leaving here in 2025. We don't want any of this crap in 2026. We don't want to be taking any of this with us. We want to leave it firmly in the past so that 2026 can be a more full, a more productive, a more successful, and ultimately a happier and more joyful year. So, whatever you have been doing in the last few days, I want you to take a moment with a cup of tea, or maybe you're travelling in your car and you've got this time just for you, just to reflect, because we are going to be talking about 3 things that I don't want you to be taking into the year ahead. You deserve a better year. So, number 1, leave behind the feeling that you are behind. Let go of that feeling that you are not where you're supposed to be. Maybe it's comparison to other people doing similar things. Oh my gosh, she's so ahead of me. Look what they're doing. Oh my gosh, why am I not doing that? Or maybe, and I'm guilty of this one, I must say, it's not even comparison to other people. It's comparison to ourselves. Like what we thought we'd be doing, you know? Comparing ourselves negatively to the fictional version of us that we've been imagining. Feeling behind, feeling not enough. That feeling is no good for anyone. It sucks. It sucks the joy out of whatever you're doing when you feel like you are behind, when you feel like you are losing, when you can't appreciate all the things that you have done because you are in the thick of comparison and judgment and criticism of yourself. So whatever you are feeling behind, whether it's comparing yourself to others, whether it's comparing yourself to yourself, or whether it's just constantly looking at what you are not doing, give yourself a blooming break in 2026. And when you catch yourself feeling behind, remind yourself that there is no race, that there is no timeline that you're supposed to be sticking to. You are simply living your life. And actually, where you are right now, perhaps is where you're meant to be. And it's your starting point for whatever you do next. And whilst you might be comparing yourself to somebody else, you might be completely comparing yourself to someone in a totally different season of their life to yours. We don't know people's individual circumstances. We don't know how much spare time people have got, how much money, what support they have got. So how can we possibly fairly judge ourselves compared to somebody else? So leave behind the feeling of being behind. Number 2, another thing to leave behind as we go into 2026 is overthinking. You know, when you're running a business, this can look like constantly rewriting the same thing over and over again, making it perfect. Again, I'm putting perfect in air quotes. Not taking action because you're giving it a bit more thought first. Again, overthinking. Waiting, holding off from things until you feel ready, till the time feels right. And I can tell you now, that perfect time thing that so many of us wait for, it just never comes around. So leave behind that overthinking. Leave behind that desire to find the perfect time. As they say, the best time was like yesterday, the second best time is now. You know? Number 3. Now, this is a controversial one. And you might almost feel a bit triggered by what I'm going to say right now. But number 3 is leave behind the belief that your life makes running your business much harder. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, I don't mean gaslight yourself. I don't mean telling yourself that you should just be able to get on with things. What I do mean is stop making things the excuse. Stop starting the day by telling yourself you've got no time. Because I tell you what, you'll find all the evidence that that's true. Stop listing all the things that are so hard about your current circumstances. Because how are you going to feel motivated? How are you going to feel inspired? How are you going to feel able to take action when you are just listing how blooming hard everything is? Maybe you're at that stage of life where you've got really young kids and you are functioning on very little sleep. And it's really easy to say, gosh, my life is so hard right now. Of course, running my business is so difficult. It will get easier and I'm going to hold off and wait until it does. Now, as someone whose kids are a little bit older, I can tell you that although the seasons of motherhood change, there's always new challenges. There's always different things that make things more challenging. So if we get into that mindset of always feeling that everything's hard and everything's impossible for us, we might find that that mindset continues whatever season of life we're in. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, you can have times where you are like, oh my gosh, I'm having a really bad day. Yeah. But when you find that actually you are talking yourself out of everything in your business because you feel that actually your life is just too hard, you're never going to do anything, Maybe, yeah, life's busy for you. But actually maybe this season that you're in doesn't make your business more hard. Maybe it makes running your business easier because you're more relatable, Maybe it makes your business easier because actually you can have stronger boundaries around your time. Now, I've made no secret about how challenging the last couple of years have been for me personally in my personal life, and particularly the last 12 months. And yeah, my focus is to make 2026 the year of joy. It really is, because I'm much needing that. But in this last year, when life has felt blooming relentless, I have definitely fallen into the trap of feeling like my life makes running a business too hard. And then I've had to have a word with myself, and said to myself, my life makes holding other responsibilities more challenging. How lucky am I that I get to run a flexible, fun, fulfilling business rather than having a 9-to-5. It doesn't mean that I'm going to pick up every piece of work and feel energized, ready for it. But my goodness, I'm grateful that this is how I get to work. That shift, that reframe has been so important. And it's probably what's kept me here running my business when other people may have stopped. So I am not saying that your life is not hard. And if you are going through a really challenging spell in your life, I feel you, I do, and I send you so much love. But don't allow that to mean that your passion, your dreams no longer matter. Because whilst any responsibilities might be challenging right now, can you think of any new perspectives on the challenges that you face and your business? So like I said, maybe life feels so full on. Maybe you haven't got as much time on your business as you'd like to have. But is there something that you can say, well, actually, I also know that this season of my life makes me more relatable, makes me have more in common with my clients. Or perhaps, like I said earlier, gives you clearer boundaries where work starts and work finishes. We can decide how we view things. We can decide what perspective we take. But when we get into that habit of feeling into that trickiness all the time, mark my words, once this challenging season is over, another one will be found, because you will be in that headspace of finding reasons why things are tricky for you working on your business. And if you want to be in this for the long game, if you want to have a sustainable, thriving, money-producing business, you want to adopt that mindset of, I'm able to run my business even when life is hard. And I'm able to see some of the good points. So if I think about my last couple of years in my business and the challenges that life has thrown my way, so if you're new around here, the last couple of years has been a real challenge of children diagnosed with various additional needs, one child out of school, fighting for support, my brother-in-law passing away. So many different things came our way in the last couple of years, and things that I have definitely been able to see is that I have absolutely tightened my boundaries around my business, and that has been something that I've needed to do for a long time. I'm grateful for that. I've been able to I can't get my words out. I've been able to prioritise like I've never done before, in terms of, okay, I've got this amount of time on my business. What should I be focusing on? The busyness have made me do that, and that's a skill that I'm going to be taking forward forevermore for when life might feel a bit easier. And my challenges have also made me a better hypnobirthing trainer. The last couple of years learning about neurodiversity, learning about different learning difficulties, has only gone to enrich what I offer. All these things have been incredible. Yet, of course, running my business has been challenging, but actually, what a gift that I have my business as opposed to a 9-to-5. And I cannot thank Abby of 11 years ago enough for taking that plunge. Now, if you are someone that is thinking of becoming a hypnobirthing teacher in 2026, do keep your eyes peeled, because towards the end of January, I'm going to be running my famous 3-day free training to let you explore the role and see if it's right for you. So do have a look, or come over to my website, loveyourbirthtraining.com, to have a look at that. I would love to let you sample life as a hypnobirthing teacher to see if it's right for you. Now, whatever your goals are for 2026, or whether you haven't even thought of that right now, that's okay. That's totally okay. Remember that leaving behind that comparison, that feeling of always being behind and not being where you want to be, is going to give you capacity to do more, take more action, feel better. Letting go of the overthinking will make you more productive, will make you more authentic, because you're not over-editing everything and leaving behind that belief that your life just makes it harder for you. Going into 2026 strong. I shall see you next time for another episode of Rockabye Revenue. Keep on changing lives. Bye.